On this episode of Serendipity Bus Life, I'm back on the road again. It's been a pretty good journey so far. I'm cruising down the 395 from Oregon through Reno and then down into Southern California. I'm gonna go to Joshua Tree, but definitely making some nice scenic stops along the way. I'm here by the river, stopped to appreciate the trees and the water before heading down to Arizona and even just the desert of Southern California where it's pretty dry. So got some really cool Eastern Sierra granite sticking out over there and just kind of taking a breather here, hanging out with the kitty. I just pulled up to one of my favorite spots, Travertine Hot Springs. It's really nice here, and wait until you see this spring. It's really cool. Wow, check this out. It's actually boiling right here. I think that might be pretty hot water. Wow, this place is really amazing. I'm gonna hop in this pool. Wow, it's so hot. I don't even know what to call this. This is a really, really interesting formation here. Seems like calcium. It's built up and the water, minerals, I don't know. Calcium and minerals that are in the water. And it's just all incredible to look at. And over there, there's some little water droplets. Yeah, so I'm just hanging out here in the hot spring. This is one of a kind. So one thing that's really cool about this spot is that it's building up all this calcium like I was mentioning, and so this whole embankment here that I'm standing on is all built up, and as you can see, the hot spring is still flowing along the top of it in this little tiny channel where then it goes down into those pools. So it's just flowing out from here within the rocks. Amazing. So if that little tiny channel down there feeds those hot springs, you can see how it was bigger and bigger. So when this thing was really flowing, I mean, gosh, it eroded this whole channel. I mean, there was a ton of hot spring coming out here. And you can actually see all the depositional material all over here. So right along this embankment is a big rift, probably a fault and that's where the hot spring comes out. And you can also see another embankment right over there that is basically the entire additional hot spring flow. Great soak, and I'm deciding to cruise on down the road a little bit further. There's some bad weather on its way in, some rain and even some snow, winter weather advisory. Plus it's going to be about 18 degrees here tonight, so a couple hours drive I can be down to where it's a little bit warmer and no rain and snow on me. So I'm going to cruise down this very bumpy dirt road and get on the 395. On cruising. It's pretty amazing to be able to just pull into spots like this and always just have such a great story. Uh-oh, we got a traffic jam coming. All right. All right, that was a little bit of the traffic on the road here. Okay. Just gotta pick a good line so it's not too bumpy. One of the downsides to having an automatic transmission now is that I can't use the clutch as much, or at all, obviously, like I used to with my old motor and transmission. So I got it down in one, an 8-ball there, and I'm just riding the brakes, cruising down this hill. So I made it over what I consider to be the last pass, trying to get down to Southern California, over 7,000 feet. It was just on the heels of a storm, which is cruising over the mountains right here, but I'm gonna drop down, way down into the valley and officially be at some lower elevation. And from there, it's basically staying low all the way through to Joshua Tree and into Arizona. I mean, there's still hills, but I get out of the high elevation. So I can finally be a little warm tonight, and I'm going to cruise all the way down towards Lone Pine and check out Alabama Hills. So if you ever heard of that, let's head there next. Look at those mountains. Beautiful. What do you think of this campground? It's pretty nice. This is a little campground right here near the Alabama Hills and Lone Pine. I'm looking forward to just having a nice little night here and exploring on foot a little bit tomorrow, hiking around. So. Alright, so this is like a super windy, narrow road. It's kind of some traffic this morning, but you cannot beat these views. And the rocks. This place is really cool. Okay, we pulled up to a new little spot here, so of course Ash wants to explore around, and we shall. Good girl. Yeah, come along. It's pretty windy out here. So, getting blown around already. Gotta roll. Got a rock climbing cat. All right, so the cat absolutely loves the rocks. She's hanging out up on top of this one. Climbed up there all on her own, and it's like 8 feet up. A little intrepid climber. Luckily I got her on belay, kind of. This rock is really easy to climb. Lots of grip. It's just super cool. But the weathering patterns on it is just so strange with it being dry here. You wouldn't expect to see all this smooth stone. So I'm checking out the Alabama hills, and it's really cool because Mount Whitney is in the background. We've got the Sierra Range, and I don't remember exactly which is Mount Whitney. It's tucked back a little bit, and it's kind of hard to tell, but it's the highest peak in the continental U.S., and I've actually climbed to the summit of it. It was a really good time. I was on the Pacific Crest Trail, and it goes right past Mount Whitney. It doesn't go over the summit, but I decided to do a little side jaunt and stationed my tent there at Guitar Lake, hiked up to the summit to see the sunrise, and it was truly incredible. It was the smallest little sunrise coming up on the horizon that I've ever seen, because it was just from such a high altitude. And I sat there, made some coffee, and watched the sunrise and hiked back down. So really special spot to me, and I hope to be able to get up there again one day. So after checking out the Alabama hills and reminiscing on good times, I had still a storm at my back, but clear skies and clear roads up ahead. I was headed south down through California all the way to the lake bed north of Joshua Tree. It's a great little nomad hangout, and it's plenty of open space on public land where we can all converge and have a little Thanksgiving, or Vansgiving as we like to call it in our community. It was a long drive, but I was ready for the haul just to be able to meet up with some friends again and have some rest after all these miles. Alright, it is after dark, obviously, and I'm driving a little later than I usually do, but I'm headed to meet up with some friends here in the lake bed at Joshua Tree. And there was some flooding out here, so there's some mud. I gotta kind of navigate out there carefully, so here goes nothing. Alright, we're just driving across the lake bed now, folks. Google Maps can only take you so far, and then you just kind of gotta look where you can go. I kind of cut across because it's too dark to see where the little path is, but heading straight for the homies. It's somewhere over here. By golly, I think that might be them over there. See a real tall bus with some groovy lights. Can you see that thing? There it is. There they are. Oh my goodness. Alright, it's a long drive, but I'm glad I made it. Oh yeah, finally made it down to some warm weather in Southern California. It's a good life out here on the road, and on the next episode of Serendipity Bus Life, I'll show you what it's like to be a nomad on the holidays, enjoying Southern California, going to Joshua Tree to do some climbing and hiking, and enjoying my great life. Stay tuned, and I'll see you next time.